Hey everybody, what is up? Video here, and this time we're going to be doing another video response sort of thing to the next Super Powered Beatdown. My last one got more attention than I ever thought it would, and people seem to enjoy it, other people not so much. So I'd like to I would like to restate that this is my opinion. This is how I think the fight would go down. I look at these as unbiased as possible. I'm not picking my favorites or anything like that. It's just who I personally think would win in a fight, and I'm perfectly fine if people disagree. I think it's cool to start a little nerd war, if you will, because I love doing that type of stuff. I think it's a lot of fun, so let's just get that out of the way. So the next battle that they announced they're going to do is Darth Vader versus Batman. I'm pretty sure this comes out in a couple weeks probably, and this is just what I think would go down. So there you go. Jesus Christ, I look like a vampire. Alright, so let's go over this. First of all, compare and contrast, like I usually do. So first of all, let's compare overall speed. Now, speed is a tough one, and I know what you're thinking. Batman's way faster than Darth Vader. But here's the thing. Darth Vader is always kind of portrayed as slow and clunky, obviously, in the movies. But according to this, I went on Comic Vine here, and I just looked up a list of Darth Vader's powers, and there is just absolutely ridiculous amount of powers that this character can do. So apparently he can use like force speed, which allows him to pretty much sprint for a long time, you know what I mean, without getting tired or whatever. That's how I'm reading it. So, yeah, I guess we would be talking about overall agility, how fast these characters can move, and, how fast they could dodge or whatever. And overall, when you think of Darth Vader, you think, yeah, he's slow. But, going off of these, man, he can do some stuff, like, that I've never even heard of, because I've only seen the movies. The original 6 movies from 1 to 6. I haven't read the books. I haven't played very many of the video games. But just going off of these, he's got like force speed, precognition, just force jump high, levitation, telekinesis, force choking, mind tricks, just all this different powers and abilities that just blow my freaking mind that I'm like, holy crap. It's insane. Just seriously. Holy crap. So anyways, crazy amount of powers. But would that be enough to give Vader the speed and agility advantage? No. To put things blunt, you have Batman, who's like peak physical condition, a character who honestly is superhuman. He's not a human, people. He's not. He can bench press 1,000 pounds. That's like 400 more pounds than the world's strongest man. Batman is not a human. He is a superhuman. And he could dodge machine guns. He can do all this superhuman BS. And honestly, it's ridiculous. So in terms of the speed and agility advantage, I'm just bundling them together. I'm giving it to Batman. Because the shit he pulls out of his pockets, man, it's just ridiculous. Being able to dodge Darkseid's Omega Beam when no mortal human has done it or whatever, when no one's done it apparently, when a normal ass dude can do it, it makes him superhuman. So Batman is a superhuman and would easily be able to dodge a lot of Darth Vader's attacks. So when it comes down to speed and agility, Batman takes it. Now, let's talk endurance. This is another tough one. Batman, obviously, his endurance, he's superhuman. He takes hits from Darkseid and gets smashed up against a wall, and then, takes hits from Superman and all this and that. Non-canon or not, it still happened at one point in his career, as we'll say. So, you have Batman, who can just take all these hits in his peak physical condition and can just go on kind of forever. You have Vader, who can kind of do the same thing. you know, he's probably not going to get tired from just moving. He's going to be able to continue to go and continue to strike and just keep moving and moving and moving. The problem is the amount of hits he can take is probably a lot less than Batman, because he's a lot of just robotic parts. You know, you remove his arm, he's probably going to be able to shake it off or whatever, but I feel like comparatively... Okay, here's an example. If Batman takes a hit from Darkseid, he can shake it off, get back up, and continue to fight somehow. If Vader was to take a hit from Darkseid, I just have a feeling that he would be destroyed. Like, I don't know. I just feel like if Darkseid went boom and just hit Darth Vader up against a wall, like his respirator would be all like dented in, and he'd be all like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like one hit from Darkseid would almost annihilate Darth Vader. On the other hand, where Batman would be able to get hit, and because of him being peak physical human condition, would be able to get back up. Now, that being said, according to this, Vader can heal himself, something called Force Heal. He can accelerate the natural healing process to heal rapidly. And apparently that's from Star Wars Episode 3. That could be like a video game or something, but... So, that being said, Vader, I guess, would be able to heal from things much easier. And, you know, that being said, I'm going to give it a tie. And the sole reason that, if that's true, Vader can heal himself. So, you know, if he does get hurt badly, he can use that to heal himself. He can use his powers to get away and maybe recuperate. So that being said, I'm going to give the endurance to both. Let's talk strength. Strength is a tough one, because once again, Vader kind of being like a robotic type person, mostly made of he's kind of like RoboCop, you know, he's like almost all robot. That being said, I gotta give it to Batman, because Batman, once again, has shown near superhuman levels of strength, being able to bench press 1,000 pounds and being able to leg press 2,000 pounds, which is inhuman. That's almost enough to lift like a small car. So, that being said, I have to give the strength point to Batman. Just going off of his physique, he's a much more built dude. He's in his prime. He's not a robot. He doesn't need a respirator to survive. And his overall strength, I feel, would just be better. Now, granted, Vader could probably use one of these billions of force powers to make him stronger, but Batman doesn't have to, you know, use a power or anything with it. It's just natural to Batman. So, that being said, I'm just going to give the strength point to Batman, because Batman, once again, peak physical human condition, practically, he is superhuman, he can do superhuman shit, and honestly, I don't think strength is going to dictate who wins this fight, regardless of who I give it to. I'm going to give it to Batman, but keep in mind, none of that matters. What really matters in this fight is the Force versus Batman's gadgets. Can Batman's gadgets defeat Vader before Vader can use a Force power to just kill him? No. Straight up no. Because here's the thing. Vader has so many Force powers, and Batman has no idea what he's dealing with. To be honest, none of Batman's gadgets are gonna take down Vader. Not at least for good. Because, okay, I just pulled up 2 pages of Batman's gadgets. So, an infrared flashlight. So obviously, you all know what that is. Smoke capsules. You all know what that is. Fingerprint dusting kit. A miniature camera, lockpick tools, tear gas pellets. It's like sideways, so. Microprocessor power source. No idea what that is. Micro cassette recorder. I'd imagine that'd be some sort of recording device so you can record conversations. Batline reel. I'd imagine that'd be, you know, the grappling hook. A laser torch. you know, cutting open doors or whatever. Plastic explosive grenades, and rebreathing apparatus, so, you know, if you used to go underwater and need to breathe or whatever. Also batarangs, and like I said, a two-way radio. I didn't say that, actually. A two-way radio concealed in the buckle. And that's what I'm going to give him. Sometimes he's been seen with a ton of stuff from, I'm not going to count the games, but like bolas and tranquilizer guns and EMPs and concussive mines, napalm, tasers, and all this stuff. Though normally the tasers just kind of put in a suit, so, you know, if someone comes up and touches them, they receive a shock that knocks them out. Sonic, just a bunch of stuff. And he always keeps a ring of kryptonite, but that's not going to come in handy in this fight. So if you look up Batman's utility belt, that's the image you're going to see. So that's what I'm giving him. Now, Vader's powers, let's give him the powers that we know he has from Star Wars Episode 1 to Star Wars Episode 6, because those are the only that's the only thing that's canon now in a select few games and books or whatever. But most of it is non-canon at this point. That has been confirmed. That we know Episodes 1 through Episodes 6 are confirmed. So I'm going to go through here. I'm not going to count Force Unleashed or anything I don't recognize or anything like that. Because, okay, well, here we go. If I was to give Vader any powers found within the games, the novels, anything like that, the fight would be over, because right here it says, Force Kill. This power was used to telekinetically destroy the victim's organs, taken from Shadows of the Empire novel. So, if I give him everything, Vader wins hands down. He can use that. He destroys Batman from in the inside. End of fight, no discussion. That being said, if I give him only the powers that are used within the movies, let's see what he has. So, Star Wars Episode 5, telekinesis. That's obvious. Lightsaber combat, that's not really a power. It just means he was trained in lightsaber combat. Force choke, we all know that. Clone Wars, I believe he's talking about the cartoon show, probably not the movies. Force crush, so lift someone in the air, go poof. That was Star Wars Episode 3. Okay. Force rage, Vader could channel his anger to increase his own speed, strength, and ferocity. That, I guess, is a basic dark side ability. That'd be Episode 3, apparently, according to this. Force push, obvious. Saber throw, obvious, you know, goes out, comes back. That was used in Episode 6. Let's see here. Beast control is interesting, to pretty much control an animal. That's not going to come in play here, so it doesn't... Well, you know what, it could. So that would be Star Wars Episode 2. If we were to give Batman his bat collar, or whatever, where he calls a swarm of bats, then that would come into play. Vader could use the bats against Batman, or, you know, command them to fly away or kill themselves, or whatever they wanted them to do. Well, this is interesting. Darth Vader could literally numb his body instinct to shut itself down after long periods without oxygen, allowing the user to go a long time without breathing. Force heal, I guess, taken from Star Wars Episode 3, so that's interesting. Force sense, force speed, telepathy, force deflection. Alright, so those are the basic powers. I'm going to edit all this up and it'll sound better. So, given all those powers, would Batman's gadgets be enough? I'm going to say no. Because grenades and a lot of his utility belt detective work gadgets aren't going to work. Now, we could argue all day what we want Batman's utility belt to hold. We could give him all of his utility belt items, but then to make it fair, I give Vader all of his force powers, which means he has that force destruction, which means he could blow Batman up from the inside. So we're not going to do that. I'm giving them their basic, essential stuff that they normally carry around with them. This is what Batman normally carries around with him. His only offensive tools are plastic grenades. You could maybe argue that a laser torch could be used as an offensive tool, but a lot of them are defensive or simply for detective work. Batarangs, whether you want to give them explosive batarangs or anything like that, a lot of his things can be gotten rid of with the Force. Whether Vader pushes them away or uses this Force deflect or whatever to push away items or whatever, he could push most of them away and then get Batman with the Force choke and kill him. And that's the end of it. I mean, he could sit there and just do this, and there's nothing you could do about it to our knowledge. In the movie, he does it to some dude. That dude was effed. Nothing that character could do. He was sitting there going, and he couldn't do anything about it. You could argue, okay, let's say Batman gets out of it. Well, now he's breathing badly, and Vader can just start bringing the house down. And just since he can use telepathy and force pulling and pushing and all this different stuff, he could be pushing Batman up against walls. He could be pulling plates from the sides, and from what we've seen from the pictures, I'll flash one up if I can find one. They were fighting in the Death Star, it looks like. So Vader could be pulling metal plates down from the walls and using them to slam Batman up against stuff. If Batman goes into stealth mode and maybe gets a cheap shot on Vader, Vader can probably brush it off with this Force healing and accelerate his healing process and heal from most of the damage he's going to take. Even if an EMP takes him down, he can use that forced breathing to breathe without his respirator for long enough to heal it back up or do whatever, or even take Batman down for the count. So no matter what tool Batman uses, Vader is going to get out of it. He has powers to work around his weaknesses, and to where Batman's moves aren't made to kill. Even a grenade, maybe it blows up Vader's leg or something like that. He can use levitation to just float his body. Or, you know, since he's a robot, he could do some weird shit and put his leg on or something like that. So I honestly don't see Batman getting out of this. Even then, I haven't even talked about Vader's lightsaber, which can pretty much cut through Batman. If Batman gets hit by that lightsaber in any direction, near the head, body, arm, anywhere, if he gets hit by that, his arm's falling off, his leg's falling off, he's getting chopped in half, his head's gone. Batman doesn't have a sword or anything that can defend against that. If he puts his arm up there, and he's dead. And on top of that, Vader could throw that and pull Batman and push him and do whatever he wants to get Batman in the way. He could force choke him, take his lightsaber and go and push it right through him if he wanted to. There's just too many things Vader could do to put Batman down for the count. And like I said, if I give Vader all of his powers, he wins straight up. With Force Destruction, he can use Force Lightning. He doesn't because it could shut down his respirator. But once again, with this Force Breathing thing or whatever, he can use it without it. On top of that, I didn't even talk about precognition, so he can actually kind of predict the future slightly. It's almost like a spider sense, if you want to think of it like that. So, if we've learned anything from the Spider-Man versus Batman death battle, that counters stealth. So Batman no longer has stealth to even do that. So you know what, that surprise attack thing I brought up? Null and void, doesn't even matter, because he has precognition, so he can be like, something's wrong, and that was used in Star Wars Episode 3. It's a basic ability. Every Jedi has it, so that's fair game. He counters stealth, kills Batman's stealth. Batman's basic tools, beaten by the deflection shield. Found it. Well, anyways, Force Deflection, yeah, Star Wars Episode 5, basic ability. So he can use that to get rid of Batman's tools and weapons. Hell, he could probably just use Force Pull to pull Batman's utility belt right off, and that's the end of the fight. So no matter what way no matter what powers I give Darth Vader, whether it's canon or not, Darth Vader hands down wins this fight. I'm sorry, Batman fans. There's no way Batman wins this one. A simple Comic Vine Google search, literally it all just came to me right now. That's why I'm talking really fast. Darth Vader wins.